Here we go already. Instantly no audio. Classic Thor stream start. This is it, right? Oh, feedback probably. Yes. Good to see everyone in the chat here. 51 people. Oh my god. I never do these by myself. I'm always on with Son or something. I hope you don't expect a crazy masterclass today because I'll just be answering some questions. Never decaf. I need caffeine. What's up, Son? I'm doing great. Thank you all for asking. Actually, I'm doing quite good this weekend. Um, yeah, no sleep, gang. I'm at the office as well. I'll probably never make it back before curfew hits. So I'll probably be sleeping on the couch here, or on the floor actually. So I thought I would be doing I will be doing a stream today, Q&A stream. I've been getting a bunch of questions lately, um, like questions even from way at the beginning. Where does the bitbird logo come from? Uh, what do you do? What is bitbird? Well, I thought I'll just answer all your questions today. Bitbird history. Let me just dive into some bitbird history. And I see San is in chat, so if you don't agree with anything, let me know. Sander, aka San Holo, came up to me one day. He said, listen, I've been making all this music and I don't know what to do with it. Crazy music, crazy electronic music, and it was absolutely beautiful. So we decided to just upload it to SoundCloud. He actually had a page already called Bitbird. It was one of his projects he was working on. Started uploading music, started making cute little bit icons, bit birds, bit sun holos even. I think I actually had a little bit Thor as well. Super lot of cute little icons. And eventually the little bitbird icon was all that's left. That was the most beautiful thing we thought was there. Started uploading it to SoundCloud. I don't know if y'all remember B-Song. That was part of the original Bitbird project. And from there on, actually, all these beautiful things happened, which was absolutely amazing. People started sending us music. People started to just comment on everything that we did. Really started to become a little community already at the time. I was working a job. I did the real estate photography. Actually, I was just editing the pictures, and then at a company in Rotterdam here in the Netherlands. And Bitbird was starting to go well, and Sander called me one day. He said, "Hey man, I think you need to quit your job." I said, "Well, damn, didn't really think about that. That was growing to be a possibility, right?" So I quit my job the next day, and the rest is history, really. One big adventure we had, and are still having today. This was the most shitty Bitbird history I ever told. Left out so many things. Let me just scroll to the chat and see if there are some good questions. I just want business advice. Yeah, that's also possible. If you have any specific questions for me, um, let me know. Let me know, really. Just gonna scroll down back a little bit. Is anybody working in Reaper? Somebody asks, which is actually really funny. Some of you might know I also do this little project of mine called Go Slow, which is basically me just making mixes for myself, really. And I like to slow down songs and then make mixes out of them. And that all started in Reaper, actually, because I didn't know anything else. I made the move now to Ableton, and basically all I use is pitch shift or whatever it's called. I don't even know. Favorite instrument. Did you guys start with nothing, or did you have a fund? Actually, I think this is a very interesting question. I like it because it goes back to the history of bitbird. No, we started with absolutely nothing, really. Literally nothing, because we weren't even in electronic music at all. I knew San from the bands that he used to play in. We used to be in a little band together in high school, actually, and we absolutely knew nothing. We had nothing. All we had was SoundCloud, basically, and of course Sander's talent at making music, and then all the other talents that joined what we were doing. So no, we didn't have anything, no funds, nothing. We just started uploading music, and then we started to just see what was happening with that. Numbers started growing, but obviously there was no money. SoundCloud at the time, I don't even think they had monetization or anything. Things started going really when San got his first shows in, his first DJ shows, which also was basically for nothing, right? I saved some money because I was working. I was working since quite young, actually, while also just jobs on the side, etc. And I saved a bunch of money, so I was able to make the jump to quit my job and kind of float on some savings that I had. I do had the very nice situation that I was able to move back in with my parents at the time. So I guess that is like kind of like a fund, right? You have to be able to do that, of course, and I was definitely able to do that. I realized that very well, but no, we just started grinding, really, and that was it. Piece by piece, little step by step, show by show. I remember San and me, we driving to Germany, car breaking down on the autobahn, ended up at the show, 6 people there, playing a show, had to drive back to the Netherlands again. Like, no, everything was really from nothing. I think if you scroll back on my Instagram, there's a picture where there's just a mattress on the ground. It looks kind of gross. Little whack room with a bitbird flag, and that is kind of where I also I stayed at Saunders' place on the ground on a mattress. We did it for a long time. I used to go to work, go back to Sans, work on bitbird, back and forth until he decided that I had to quit my job. So no funds to start with, just a lot of passion and a lot of enthusiasm and fun and just the absolute urge to create. I think that was most of what drove us. Definitely not money, because we were hella broke. But I would never trade it. Like, there were so many adventures attached to it as well, and you learn so much from that situation. And the struggle that comes with it, and building everything piece by piece. It's been very remarkable, actually. I feel blessed. to be able to just live through such a crazy time in life, right? So let's see, another question. How many coffees do you drink a day, Thorwald? RGB dog, what's up? I drink too many coffees. You know it. This is my first one today, actually, and it's 8. So that's why I'm drinking it, because I've been a bit lazy today. But usually during work day, I would drink 6 coffees at least. No, max 6 coffees. Usually in the morning, I just straight up chuck 3 of them. Yeah, started. All the business questions from Michelle. That's fine. How did you guys make profit in the beginning? Yeah, we didn't, obviously. It was all blood, sweat, and tears, really. That definitely took a while. It's definitely hard to break from being like this little music collective into becoming I guess, a more actual company, right? That definitely was something that we had to learn as well, because we were quite reckless at the start, and had to figure out all the steps necessary to really start becoming a team that had even a higher vision in mind. I also like to say that bitbird never really grew from the point of view that we had to start a company or anything. It always started from the perception that we really wanted to do something cool, and that we didn't find a place for it, and that we wanted to create it ourselves. That was the main goal in mind, right? We wanted to create a space that we thought was free enough for us to do most of the things we liked, or all the things we liked, actually. And it was really just step by step. Yeah, go slow confirmed. Can you tell us about the history of the Sun Holo logo and how it evolved during the years? Actually, I didn't make the original Sun Holo logo. There was another friend of mine. Yeah, a mutual friend of San and me, actually. I've seen the bitbird logo. What were the first Sun Holo bitbird releases? Well, that were the bitbird releases. The Trip EP. You should check that out. I have a create together overlay. Yes, I know. I put it there. Who's the first artist to join bitbird? I like that one. That was actually Duskus, boy Duskus from the UK. He sent us some. I'm not exactly sure how it happened again. I think San commented on a track of his, or they found each other on SoundCloud. Everything SoundCloud, right? SoundCloud days. I miss it so much. It was beautiful. The community there. This was absolutely genius, and they started messaging each other, and then Duskus sent us a song. It was called The First Route, actually, and we weren't really planning on becoming a label per se. We were open to whatever was gonna happen. So Duskus sent through a song to us, The First Route, and it was so amazing that we had to release it. So releasing back in the day for us was just uploading it to SoundCloud, right? We thought that was it. And all the rest was coming afterwards. How did you decide that making a label was your passion? When did that realization come? So I would say that making a label was never really the idea, or at least not necessarily the idea. Also at the start we always called it a creative company, actually, because the vision was way wider than just being a music label. I also think that we really had no clue where things would go. Um, it was more of an organic growth. We sort of just looked at what was happening and kind of adjusted here and there. And then it just made sense to become a, or at least to build a label infrastructure because we were doing music and art, etc. And becoming a music label was just the most sensible thing to do. Um, but we always had creative company in mind for whatever that would turn into. And now I think even at this point, now that we're like a stable music label, I think it's still creative company to me. So it can still grow any way we like it to grow. And for me, I think it's also important in this space, right, in this music industry, to be able to do that because you also see everything is changing so much if you look at it from a more business end, you know, like streaming music now, everything is changing. Now you have the NFTs going on, etc. So how will that evolve? For me, I keep in a very open mind to anything we do. Really, I only had the drive to create something cool that I would be happy to work on, and I've had that since a very young age. I think I always already told my parents, for example, like that I didn't really want to work for a boss, or that I didn't really understand that how they could work until their pension at like this one company. So I always had quite an adventurous spirit in me, and I thought I'll just pursue it because I also had friends who were very ambitious and I guess doing things they liked and tried to make money with that. And I thought, whoa, some people can actually do that. That's amazing. What is there that I really love to do? So I just started from that point really until like the real businessy things started coming to mind as well. Yeah, Audius is the new SoundCloud. Actually, quite interesting. I hope so. I hope not the new SoundCloud per se. Audius should be Audius, but I'm curious if they will add like a commenting thing to it as well. So Audius is like the blockchain platform, right? Competitor of SoundCloud, I guess. But I think it's still lacking some things that would actually make it SoundCloud. And it is the community element to it because that was so much fun, right? You could comment on each other's tracks and you got to know people, you got to know other collective. It's also how we got in touch with, for example, Point from Friends. Um, Also, that's where we went to our very first show in another country. That was in Paris. Yeah, Germany, 6 people. I'm way back in the questions now. I should have not scrolled. Can you tell us about which artwork you made and how the process of making covers is for bitbird? Yes, I can. I will tell you something about it. I don't really have anything to show you here right now, but I can tell you a little bit what I've done so far. And basically, from the start, um, I made everything, all the artworks, all the videos, everything, and I would check it with San, and we would go back and forth on it a little bit, and then we would throw it out there. Um, at the start, bitbird was really just making pixelated artworks. It all wasn't that hard back then. It was just pixelated artworks, just choosing colors, and we put a title on it and the artist name, and we threw it out. And that was also the approach to the art. Until we really started releasing with other artists, or at least artists that were kind of outside of our bubble as well, or in our direct people that we knew, basically. So the approach now to the art is really, I'd like the artist to be very comfortable that they are able to show what they want to show. Um, and now the approach to that differs with every artist a lot, because we work with a lot of very small and just starting upcoming artists, who a lot of times don't really know yet how how they want things to look, or what they want to say, or what they want to what they want to tell really in a longer term, right? Um, so for me, I think that is my favorite approach, to just talk with an artist and get a grasp of what they want. Also nowadays, I don't do a lot of the artworks anymore. We have somebody on the team, Michael, nowadays on Insta, and he makes great art. He makes amazing art, and he works together with artists very well. He has the same approach. So how I would see it now is, I like to give the artist more freedom to do what they want. And recently, I've really been looking at it like, how should we evolve as a brand? Because we've been kind of, super minimalistic over the recent years, and we're kind of diving into more bigger community, like there are some things that need to happen. Make a new website, for example, has to look fresher, etc. So how are we going to develop as a brand, right? So my approach now would be to kind of look at, if bitbird was a gallery, for example, how would that work, right? You want to release with artists, and you want the world to know that they release with bitbird, but you also don't want to put your stamp on the artist's works too much, because you want them to be free. You want them to be able to express themselves in the way they want to, right? So there's a lot of sort of conflict as well in that, which is super beautiful, because that always keeps you thinking about how things can be better. And I really like that a lot. So I think I wanted to answer a question about artworks, but I went a little bit into my philosophy behind things. So I guess that is really the process, though. I'd like to talk to artists, see what they want, and I'd like to amplify that. And if they already have an idea about that, that is amazing. That is amazing, absolutely. I think we are, that is our duty, to see what the artist wants to say, and then we will stand next to them and start screaming the same thing. I think that is our job as a label, amplification, and that's also how I kind of like to approach the art. Amplification of what the artists want to say. But I can go a little bit deeper into actually creating artworks later. Um, I can do another stream sometime where I'll just pull up Photoshop or something, and we can create something. Show you some tricks that I use. I'm also not great at, I'm good at it. I'm good at Photoshop, for example, but I'm not the best at Photoshop. I just know a bunch of tricks, and I know how I like to approach things. But the idea to me is always most important. I feel like I'm rambling a little bit, but I'm just gonna stay doing that. Another thing about our approach on artwork, but this is more on the Sun Holo end of things. Usually when I make artwork for San, I would make something nice, and he would tell me, oh, why does this look so nice? It's way too nice. You have to make it uglier. And then I go back to my artwork, and then I try to make it a bit uglier, right? And then we go back and forward on that a lot, which is actually a really fun dynamic. because it's very weird to be pushed to make uglier things. But as long as the idea behind it is great, then these ugly things turn beautiful as well. I hope this makes any sense. In my head, it makes total sense, everything I say. Okay? How old were you guys in the time that we started? When we started bitbird, how old was I? I lived in my first apartment that I rented in my hometown. So I think I was 22 or 23. 23 probably. And now I turned, is it been 7 years? 7 or 6 years, yeah. So I think I was 23. I just turned 30, which is crazy to think about. So I rarely say that. Has the pandemic impacted your creativity in any way? Yes. Yes, in a strange way, I think. I think that it made me more creative at the beginning. Um, I kind of am interested in crisis. So whenever something crazy happens like this, I think it's quite interesting, right? Not that it's pleasant per se, but it's quite interesting to just see what happens around us and how people respond to that. I'm very into that kind of behavior of people. So at the start of the pandemic, I got more creative, although it's been, I guess it's been ups and downs like everyone really, because at this point it's taking a bit long now, and it's really starting to wear me out, and I guess I'm creative in other ways, a bit less hands-on creative. Like I wouldn't have made as much art, for example, as I wished I had made in this time. But I've been having a lot of ideas and thoughts in my mind that I've been writing down. So I guess the pandemic changed my creativity a little bit into being a bit more hands-off approach, a bit more just thinking about things and writing things. So pandemic definitely changed my creativity, and yeah, I can't wait for it to be over because I also feel like I need to get out there and actually see like the manifestation of what we've been creating, which is absolutely a thing when you go to shows, for example, and you see everyone there and people are dancing and just generally having a good time. I think that's the most beautiful thing. Um, and I miss that very much. And I feel that missing that also impacts my creativity. So it's a bit of a slippery slope, I guess. You really have to force yourself to be motivated, and I have to force myself to be creative as well at times. Because when I do that, eventually, you get back in the flow again. So that is definitely a change for me, and I think for everyone really. Where did the idea of the Hold Fast video come from? Oh, that's so long ago. It was because it was from the Victory EP, Hold Fast Song of Song. I have no idea actually. It was very flashy and very wild, and we just wanted to create something surrealistic looking. If you don't know the video, old Sander song released on Monster Cat called Hold Fast. Goldie and Finch. Well, yeah, I have a Goldie and Finch. And Pascal. Shout out to Pascal. So people ask me, what can you talk more about what goes into creating a label like bitbird in terms of playlist, PR, marketing, artists, etc. I'm curious how I could explain that. I think also my role in bitbird has been quite chaotic, and I was on the road a lot, so things definitely didn't happen as I guess traditionally they will in a company. I guess when we started really distributing music and get a little income from that, we started getting our first team member on board at the time. Ruth, she did marketing for us and write to blogs, etc. Um, so that way it was quite a traditional approach how we started. We started releasing music how it should be released to the Spotify's, etc. And then we just had a team member that wrote to every blog there was, right? And that was really the approach. We were just really trying to get in touch with everyone. Um, and then I guess we just kept doing that. And then step by step, we saw, oh, now we need someone here to help us, for example, on socials, or we wanted to dive more into apparel, for example. So eventually we grew that out bit by bit, right? And so I think you quickly identify what you have to do when you're building a team, and then it's just a matter of finding the right people, which is very easily said, right? That's a very hard thing to do. Um, but what really goes into creating a label like bitbird, I think also what it really took was us being on the road. Um, and I think that was so valuable because we started touring quite fast with San, and then that allowed us to meet people basically in every part of the world and talk to them and show us our music and talk about the label and hang out again. And I think that really helped as well in establishing the label. So it was quite a boots on the ground approach, I guess, which also was amazing to do. Before I started touring, I never really traveled that much. So yeah, that was absolutely amazing and really good for the label. Back in the early days of SoundCloud, there were no reposts. Crazy. What? Maybe that was before I was on it then. Right, no repost networks like that. Yeah, yeah, I get what you're saying. What is an uncommon Adobe Suite trick that not many people know about? Ooh, that's a good question. Honestly, Adobe Suite trick, not many. A specific program? I don't know. I don't have any tricks on the suit really. I think I just like XD to make things in nowadays more than, for example, Illustrator. So maybe that's one. You can do way more in XD than you think. When you create something, do you create with budget in mind, or will you work around the budget later? Yeah, this is always a tricky thing. Oh, this is a tricky thing, and I have some opinions on that. Um, I kind of dislike budgets, which is a super weird thing to say, of course, um, because a lot of times it is very nice to know a budget beforehand when you're working on a creative project, because you know your boundaries, and sometimes it's good to know your boundaries. But I think a lot of times as well, what happens when you have a really fixed budget in mind is that you start working towards those boundaries, right? And then you have to have a strong mind to really think outside the box, so to say. And then my approach to that would be something that also was born out of necessity, is that I always approach things, how can you do things without them costing any money? Which might also not be the most healthy thing to do. Um, so I guess it's always a balance, really. I would say you don't think about the budget too much, but you keep some constraints in mind, and you want to tackle it already from a point of view that you don't want to waste money, because that's also a shame. And then to give a good example, I think the I Still See Your Face music video, that was almost done for under, I would say that was under $30 or something, which is ridiculous. Does not necessarily, because we had a projector and we had a smoke machine, right? So we already had those things. But approaching things with how can I do it with the things I already have and make that good, and then looking at then how can I use the budget to make it even better, I think that's also the most fun approach to me, because it's kind of nice to bootstrap things. I like it. Although I have to be honest with y'all and say I have to really step up this live streaming game and have a little budget for it. When do you sign an artist? Somebody asks. Tough question as well, because when do you sign an artist or a project, right? With bitbird, we've historically mostly signed projects instead of artists, or at least like fixed signings with artists. We feel like artists should be free to release wherever they want. Now we also like to build a longer term relationship with them, but we think it's a good thing if an artist can occasionally, at least occasionally, go to another label and release something there, because we feel like allowing them that freedom will really create some comfort. And obviously from a business point of view, it also helps you, of course, when the artist returns, maybe get some of the community or the fan base from other labels familiar with bitbird. So we think it's win-win if we're all a little bit more open to those kind of things. But when do we sign an artist? Now that's also a great question, where we usually purely signed on great music. We usually only listen to the music. That was it. No rules. Good music. That's the only rule. That's how we always thought. Still do, in a slightly different way. But we used to be hardcore music listeners. And then if you were good, you were able to get signed. So for example, I think when we stumbled upon Tasca, he had Tasca Black had like 11 followers or something. But the music was amazing. So obviously that didn't bother us at all. And we reached out. So good music is definitely the start. Nowadays we look a bit more to, is the artist serious about their project? And then I mean serious in a sense of, are they actually putting in their blood, sweat, and tears into their project as well? Because then everything becomes a little bit easier, right? So I guess we would have a bit wider, you say that, we look at a bit more things now when signing an artist, that's for sure, because we have to. Also, our team is bigger, and we want to approach it a bit more serious, I guess, but also always with a playful mind. So I would say very concretely, yeah, we sign artists on good music, established something for themselves, a little bit already, or at least show that they have some vision. You don't have to have 100K followers or anything. That's ridiculous. You can be very small, but we like it when an artist shows that they already are building their little world around their act, because that's what we like to amplify. People with a sort of specific creative vision, and that gets us super excited. So that's what we're going for, really. Let's see. When are we gonna get emotes on Twitch though? I think there are emotes now. I'm not sure. We piece by piece adding it now, because we never really did a lot of Twitch streams beside the recaps, which we will pick up again. Okay, we've kind of been looking at what we have been doing lately as a company, and kind of making some adjustments to things we're doing. Because we do a lot of things out of just curiosity and playfulness, and they are not always the best thing to do as a company, of course. So we're kind of recalculating a little bit, but live streaming is definitely something we want to keep doing, and I think that these master classes as well have proven to be very fun, and I think that would be a nice thing to keep doing. Let's see, got a text here from me. Oh, I'm super far in the chat, Niels says. I'm sorry, Niels, but I will scroll down a bit more. Just keep talking. Let's see. No. Oh my god, I'm so far down. Okay, there we go. But what role did Bitbird play in that crazy Airbnb Sunroad Baby You Okay in? Oh no, San just rented that Airbnb and I'm just there, and we work a lot with Tim. I live here, for example, who is a great friend of us. So it's just a fun house to be in. I think I'm back on track here. Let's see. This is gonna take 3 hours. Yeah, maybe. See, Niels, now I'm back down here and I don't see any direct questions. So I have a question for y'all, actually. I see somebody asking about NFTs. So we're obviously looking at the space, and I'm quite curious how y'all think about it. Oh no, y'all confusing me with the chat now. Okay, no pixels. NFTs, right? So yeah, we're looking at NFTs. I'm gonna tell you a crazy story, actually. Back in 2013, my health insurer, this is a whack story. My health insurer posted about a competition they were doing. They were giving away a Bitcoin. And I thought, oh, that's interesting. Because I was always liked going on the Thor browser, and because it had the same name as me, and it was just funny to look at all the crazy shit going on there, right? So I heard about it, and I entered the competition, and I won a Bitcoin in 2013, which got me interested in this whole blockchain thing. Absolutely ridiculous. And yeah, I held it. So we've been looking into the NFT space for a while, and also audios, etc. But I don't think you want to jump onto things too much, especially when there's so much money involved, where it's kind of dangerous to trick people into buying things per se. You know what I mean? But now that it seems to really establish itself as a thing, we are looking on getting onto it, obviously, but we are looking at doing it in a kind of graceful way because there's just a lot of things happening. Fees are super high. Also, the environmental impact, of course, which has been very much in the discussion lately. Um, those things are kind of, yeah, gas fees. Y'all say it as well. If the artist needs money, NFT is an okay way to support them. Outside of NFT, make sure we have more avenues to financially support artists in a cool way. Yeah, I totally agree with that, right? So I look at NFTs as if they are a new distribution system for music and art. I don't look at NFTs as now we can sell images, because I think it's whack at times. Obviously, if there's a great thought behind it, it's amazing. But I know, and you see that a lot of things get approached in a non-art way, and people just want to make a quick buck of it. And I think it is kind of weird to do that. It's kind of weird to do that towards your fan base, towards the community, towards enthusiastic people. So you have to be sure of what you're making is cool. So actually working on a project with San, and we really approach it from an art point of view, and then for bitbird approaching it from a very collecting point of view, right? So things that are fun to collect. The prices are interesting to me because costs are quite high, so I understand prices are high for a image, but we are looking into how can we then make it a bit more rewarding by, for example, selling an NFT, and if you show that at a show, you get free access because you bought the, I don't know, the special diamond bitbird badge that grants you access to every show, for example. That's a way more interesting way of looking at it to me. Then also you can still do all the fun collectible things, of course, but there are a lot of ways. There are a lot of ways how we can approach this, but the most important thing to me is we're gonna really have to directly approach it in a graceful way, right? So how can we offset our carbon emissions, for example? Because I did a calculation on this little wallet that I bought my first NFTs with. I bought 4 bastards, some of these ugly bastard images, which is very funny. But I did a calculation on that wallet, right? And there's a lot of CO2 emissions already. So that bothers me. So we're looking at how can we offset these things from the start before we going to start it. Let me read the chat a bit, because there was a little rant. NFT VIP access, yeah, exactly. I love that. Speculative industry is not the way to go. I agree with that. But I think people also, if they want to do that, it should also be okay. But we are not in it to gamble, I guess I would say that. We are not in it to gamble. We're in it for a long term with everything we do. So when we approach this, it should be with that thought as well. We want not just a quick money grab, but we want to have a long trajectory into creating art on the blockchain. NFT incentivizes the purchasing of art to a degree. Okay, I agree with that. I think it's great, of course, that this is happening. Very interesting. Want to see the calculations? If you want to share them, yeah, I can share you like a link where I calculated on. I think it was 167 kilograms of CO2 on 4 transactions I did, by the way, if to get a quick grasp, which is a lot, huh? Shoot, I was shocked, actually. Let's see. Disclosure sold for 140,000 VIP admissions to all shows as long as you own the NFT. Yeah, that is really cool that you have access as long as you have the NFT. I'm just curious if you would buy it for 140,000. Were you not better off just buying the tickets to the shows? But that's up to the buyer, I guess. You can donate proceeds of the sales to offset the environmental impact. Yes, exactly. That's what we have to do from the start on. Actually, we discussed it this weekend, and we are thinking about maybe offsetting even more than just the NFT if there is money coming in through NFTs, right? We might as well just offset even more. Because why not? Real valuta is more damaging though. Yeah, that's what they say, right? You know what Son also always has a point, you know. He always says, yeah, he is very pro offsetting, of course, because he's a very green boy. Green boy. And he also says, and everyone complaining about the damages on the environment, they probably still eat meat. So he has, I always think he has a point there, which I am also actually, I also eat meat, which is shitty, you know. Should stop doing that. Let's see. I like the way you're looking at this. Thank you. Thank you. I'm just brainstorming about bitbird NFTs right now. Yeah, well, I think it's fun to have like these little collectible NFTs, you know, spinning bitbirds, even if they just look cute. And then we have the occasional ones that have real world things attached to them, right? That's very cute. You know what I'm also interested in? All those. That's why I also bought some of these bastard NFTs. You know, sort that's the. It's like the CryptoPunks. To create bitbird NFTs that are just pixelated birds, like the logo is, and then have like this AI. How you say that? The machine learning, the GAN system, create all these crazy birds out of it. Maybe I can throw a little template into the Discord actually, and we can all make pixelated birds. That will be fun, and throw it through a machine learning thing and see what comes out of it. That will be dope. Let's do that actually. Let's see. Screw Ticketmaster fees. Somebody said. I don't even know what the fees are. I'm kind of out of the loop on a lot of things as well, and I just kind of in my own little world a lot of time when people talk about Ticketmaster, or for example. I have to be very honest. I don't know about these things. Maybe look into crypto other than Ethereum for NFTs that uses less energy. Yes, if you have any recommendations, let me know. We've been looking into some of them. It also seems like platforms using that are not necessarily, I guess, the ones to get started on. I'm not sure. So if you have any input on that, you can also drop it in the Discord. I'll make a channel, bitbird NFTs, in the Discord. Maybe there are other channels we can make in the Discord as well if we want to discuss some specific, like more visual or more structural kind of topics. That would be cool. The other platforms I've heard of are Wax and Matic. I like that. Ethereum is a good bet. Lots of crypto input. So you're all quite into it, huh? Makes sense. Hey, here we have a great question. bitbird planning on hosting its own festival at some point? Hell yes. When and how? I have no idea. Honestly, the festival's gonna get started first soon. I would say the trajectory would be like, first we're getting a stage at a already existing festival. That's what I think that the trajectory would be. Get a couple of stages maybe, and then bitbird festival. So I'm not sure if it would happen anytime soon, but I think it's a very cool thing to do, and it's definitely a passion of mine to create a bitbird festival once, or maybe just an annual thing. I don't know. Imagine though, I've been thinking about this a lot, huh? Bitbird Festival. Imagine, cute setting, very cozy, very cozy. Nothing too crazy wild, you know. Beautiful couple little stages. You also have a beautiful just place to chill where people can play, I don't know, acoustic guitars, have a little campfire set or anything. And what I also think we should do is have like this little marketplace where people can sell or trade or whatever, give away their own Bitbird things they've made. Because all of you all make such beautiful things a lot of times, which I really enjoy seeing. You all make your own clothing. I've seen skateboards. I've seen what have I seen? I've got a lot of beautiful things here. Even I've got the Pokemon cards here that got made recently. Actually, all these things. Look at this, for example. Look at the Duskus. Gotta catch 'em all. You know, all these things that y'all make are so amazing. I'd love to have a place at the future Bitbird Festival, whenever, where we can all trade these things. Have a little marketplace for people that visit. How cool would that be? And then you can pay using BitChirp's crypto. Now I'm just talking. That's how my brain works usually. I just go on rants to myself until a ID falls out. Let's see. Can you talk more about the business aspect of the label? What are various streams of revenue that keep the label alive and thriving? Yeah, I'm not the best to talk about this because I know, I understand the workings of it, but I don't know all the correct terms. Maybe we can dedicate some stream to this to go a bit more in depth on the business side. But obviously, revenues from streaming are important to us. Radio plays, satellite radio, Sirius syncs, you know, syncing to Netflix, etc. And then apparel as well. Um, and then, yeah, I think that's just what I can throw out of my sleeve right now. Is a night with Bitbird gonna happen this year? So if ADE continues this year, we're gonna have a show. I think that is just, we just got the green light on that. And they're trying to make it happen. So that would be a show in Amsterdam. And oh, I really hope that it will happen. But we'll see with the COVID and all. Our government is not too fast with fixing the situation. Can we do it in a bird park? Actually, there's a bird park close by here where I've always thought of filming something called Avifauna. But I'm afraid if we do loud things in a bird park that the birds get too scared. So I'm kind of hesitant doing that. Let's see, second skyride, yeah. I think I'm way slow with the chat again. Sorry, News, if you're still watching. What do you think about selling prints of the Create Together 2 artworks, just like when Drulu did their artwork contest / gallery? Cool idea. I like it. Let's look into something. Yeah, for sure. Let's look into it. What would the festival be called? Y'all throw some names for the festival, yeah? How would you do that with a festival and business side? I have no clue. We can talk, we can discuss this. I think we can talk about this. Hit me up. What are the eggs in front of people's names? So if you get a subscription, you're an egg until you subscribe. That's on Twitch, by the way. Viv asks, what are the eggs in front of people's names? So those are our badges now. You start as a little egg until you get born a little bitbird. Thought it was very cute. Are you guys making a sub-label anytime? Talking about it, actually. Not sure what way the sub-label will go, what direction I mean, or if it will be a white label thing. Um, but yeah, we're definitely exploring some new roads to go down. Illegal bitbird rave under a bridge, Sven. Now we're talking, actually. Or just a way too busy bitbird party at our studio, which is funny. That was also the first bitbird party we've done. Was just a way too large one at our studio in Zoetermeer. Let's see. Isn't Goldie and Finch a sub-label? No, it's not. Goldie and Finch's are compilation. Try to do it yearly. And to me, Goldie and Finch really represents sort of the music that we've been listening to, music that we think will be cool, and just music that gets us excited. It's a bit weird to explain, but yeah, Goldie and Finch is more, I'll always call it our sonic runway. That's how I would like to see it, you know, with also with the jewelry of the birds. Goldie and Finch really is a sonic runway to me in a sense, and I also want it to become bigger and bigger in a way of getting more visual elements to it and more event elements to it as well. Because the first and second Goldie and Finch was really also about the listening sessions involved. You know, we would make something together as a label with all the artists and have some beautiful things in there. And the listening session that comes out of that was really an important part of the whole compilation drop, and such an important part that I think that the Goldie and Finch 4 really needs to have a listening session that is quite big or to be enjoyed by a lot of people. So I'm thinking about how to do that. But that is what Goldie and Finch is to us. So it's not really a sub-label. It's not a sub-label. It's just our compilation. And then I would say we have two compilations now, right? We have Goldie and Finch, and now we have Create Together. So that's amazing. Laura asks, life is beautiful this year? I hope so. I hope so. I think I need to get my visa renewed to go to the States. So I should check that out this week. But if it's possible, I love to go to the States. I hope I had my vaccine by then. I'm not sure. Do you plan, I love this question, do you plan on using more new image technologies, AR, mixed reality in shows? Yes, I'd love to do that. I love to play around with that. The show I'm working on, I don't know if I can talk about that, actually. Sun needs a new show, which is more, it's not that digital, of course. Saunders aesthetic, so it doesn't really ask for like super new technologies to work with, right? But I am very interested to see what we can do or how we can use those to create more organic images. I'm quite interested actually in these new technologies, like using machine learning to create images, because I believe that it can really help also with just the ideation of projects. So you just input a lot of stuff into a machine and it kind of shits out things that you didn't think about, and you use that as a sort of starting piece in a puzzle. And I guess that the whole randomness, or at least randomness maybe to us that comes out of a machine, can trigger new and refreshing ideas. So yeah, I'm looking into that a lot. I fed all our clothing images to a machine learning thing actually recently, and then it turned out an image that was a hat that looked like a sweater, which was absolutely ridiculous, unuseful but very funny. So that part of that it was just funny also was kind of inspiring to me in a way. So yeah, I love to look at those kind of things. Also there, if you have any cool ideas, feel very free to let us know because we're always open to crazy things. Also, I just got a VR glasses. I got a Quest 2, and I showed it to Son, and then he also got a Quest 2. So occasionally now we're like in Rec Room or something. I want to dive into VR chat because Everstark, my boy from Austin, does a lot of things in there. I don't know if he's here, but they do shows in VR chat, right? And I would love to go there. I'm just a shy guy, so I'm afraid to talking in VR chat. Also, I look like Deadpool in VR chat, and all the rest looks like very cool, like anime things. So I feel a little bit out of place. But I love to do some more virtual reality show kind of things as well, because I think that goes hand in hand with these NFT spaces, right? Um, I think the future of playlist might as well be in virtual reality as physical rooms. I think that's something I would like to see, a bitbird spaces in VR where you can listen to music together. Yes, I have seen the Wave Company shows. Very cool. I love it. Definitely. Gather Town. Yeah, if you have any of these virtual worlds where we could meet up in, that would be fun. We could even just do a Mozilla Hubs thingy together with a bunch of people if you're all interested. Can present things on the stage to you. Yeah, I would love for Son to do a wave show actually. All right. Any more specific questions? Let's see. I'm gonna scroll back a little bit more. Is there anything that I want to talk about still? I think I really wanted to just ask y'all's opinion on the NFTs, and I will definitely make a channel in Discord about it so we can keep talking about it. Can we do more art? Where was that? Oh, I lost the comment now. Can we do more art talk? So actually, I saw how enthusiastic people were about the music streams. And that's why I also wanted to do a little Q&A. Neil says, I can't even count how often Thor has talked about Mozilla Hubs. Yeah, Niels is absolutely right. So let's make that happen. Anyway, visual talk, right? Yeah. That's why I wanted to do this Q&A actually, because even after Create Together, I'd love to see how we can keep doing these kind of streams, like sort of master classes or just Q&As or just talking about things. And I think I just want to invite more visual creatives as well to just like all the people making music show a little thing or two on stream and indeed let people vote in Discord what they want to see. So maybe if y'all want to know something about using processing to create music even or coding, you know, the algorithm things, or for example, you know, a very interesting visual artist that maybe we can reach out to if they want to talk. Anything really. I'll make a channel for that as well, for the visual streams, because I love to just keep doing that and also invite other people to talk because they probably have way more expertise, way more than I do, because I don't know that much really. I just say a lot of crazy things, and which is also a lot of fun, of course. But yeah, any ideas? Very welcome. Throw them in Discord. Let's see. Any more thoughts on Create Together future? Bitbird Music School. Been thinking about Bitbird Music School. I'm gonna throw another crazy idea. I just have a lot of things in my mind that are very long-term interesting to me, and whether they happen in this form Under Bitbird, I don't know, but I have some ideas I play with, um, that I love to do in my life. And Bitbird Music School, well, that sounds amazing to me. And then not maybe not necessarily as really a fixed school. Maybe it can be pop-ups during tours where we teach music, teach Ableton, teach guitar, whatever. Have creative talks as well on location. I think that would be amazing. I also think that music education in schools, like actual schools right now, is a bit shitty. Um, if I think back at music classes, they were fun, but did they really push me to have fun in being expressive? I don't think so. Um, so I love to see what we can do there. And maybe that asks for a Create Forever Foundation or something. I don't know. It's just a wild idea in my mind for the future. Um, but yeah, definitely music school. You know what? Music school would also just be great if we do these writers camps, right? That we haven't been doing this year, obviously due to Corona. Um, but we really like these writers camps we've been doing. Um, Even beside the music being created there, it's just so much fun to have people together, spend a week creating things and talking and just drinking some beers or whatever, and having fun and being in the space kind of outside of where they normally are. So I was playing also with the idea of having a day in that week, or maybe doing another sort of camp thing where we can have people from the community come over and just have a party with us and a day of master classes as well. Yeah, Bitbird talks in real life, you know. I'm very down to explore something like that, but obviously those are all very big ideas that are not just easily uh, realized, but definitely things in my mind. Fan camp, yeah. All right. Big trampoline gang. No more trampolines at riders camps though. People will instantly get hurt. Y'all should invite a small fan crew. Yeah, that would be dope. All right. Let's see. I've been talking for an hour and 20 minutes already. Yeah, so many ideas now. Need to stay realistic though. Um, but I love just talking about these things. Let's see. Any other specific questions? What is happening regarding Drulu's visuals now? Um, I am not sure actually. I know that since Drulu split, Vincent is kind of reconfiguring his vision a little bit, of course, to see how things continue, etc. Um, so I'm not sure. I'm not sure about that. You would have to ask Finny. I'll ask him. I'll see him next week. What software do I use most often for my art? I use a lot of just the Adobe Suite tools, really. It's Photoshop. I love Photoshop. Photoshop is really my thing. And then I use Premiere. I suck at After Effects, but I'm great at using Premiere. I'm also very good at making videos with my iPhone and then making them look even more crappy so that they look good. Yes. Um, but yeah, I don't go crazy with the tools at all. Photoshop, Illustrator, Premiere, just the basic stuff really. And then I draw a lot. I do a lot of drawing. So a lot of times I just draw on Procreate, yes. And just even if it's little scratches, for example, in all the latest Sanolo lyric videos, all the scratches, I just draw frames. I would just spend some times and draw
like 200 frames of scratches different, and then I use that, right? So I think in terms of what tools you use to create, it's not so much really about the tools you use. It is more, what do you put into the tools you use, you know? Because I could have a tool that makes some scratches, um, or I could just spend some time creating my own scratches, you know, and use that, and it gives it, I guess, a bit more of a personality, or at least I like to believe that it does. Um, yeah, so I would say tools, whatever. You can use paint as long as you put enough love into it. That's really it. And a lot of times you think things are ready, and then you need to remove some more out of it, and then still sprinkle a bit more love on it, and then you're there. Um, Also, just camera, iPhone camera is amazing. Can do so much with it. Um, it looks so good, and then you can just mess with it until it looks good. Um, what video apps do you use for the iPhone? Just iPhone camera. Like, I do have on my iPad, I have Adobe Rush to do some quick editing occasionally. It doesn't. I don't like it that much. But I don't have any special uh, camera apps or anything. I had one of these fish eye lenses once that you could clip onto your iPhone, but I lose these things quite quickly. Blender, yes, I don't use Blender yet. I'm learning. I'm learning Blender. I can put material on things now, and I can make things hairy. Um, I've been really wanting to learn Blender and get creative in these 3D things. It is quite hard, actually. I enjoy it. I made part of the very famous donut tutorial now. I think I'm in part 5 or something. Not sure. I don't think even part 5 yet. But yeah, whenever the donut is ready, I'll send it to y'all. Gotta get a good mouse. I DM'd you. I know. I know. In the meantime, now I have this little shitty mouse, but I really needed to get a mouse because my hand starts hurting. And even now that I have the mouse, my hand still hurts. And not just my pinky, but also my index finger starts hurting now. So I don't know. No, yeah, I don't know what to do. I hope it will go away. I don't know what's up with that. You have to do warm-ups, yeah, the hand stretches before starting work, right? Let's see. Very All right. I'm not really sure what else there is to talk about at this point. So I might call it a day for now. But actually, you know what it was? There are quite a bunch of people here still, which amazes me because I'm not sure if I said anything sensible. Fail grain or no grain? Yes, grain. I love grain. No pixels. Grain can make a lot of things more forgivable, especially if the quality is a bit low of the material you use. You might want to throw 100% grain. I'm not kidding. You might want to throw some grain on it. That mouse makes my hand hurt by seeing it. Yeah, yeah. Mine too. Do you use more paper, pencil, whatever tool in real life, or your computer digital stuff to create? Both. Both. I usually start drawing, and then I usually start drawing, and then a lot of times what I draw doesn't even have anything to do with the thing I want to make. But starting to draw and starting to create shapes, etc., really gets my creativity going. So usually I start off drawing and making scribbles and just make kind of shapes that I like on paper. Yeah, I don't know if that answers your question, Steve. Paper, pencil, whatever tool. Yeah, I start always with drawing and scribbling. Usually letters. Not graffiti per se, but just like some hand-drawn crazy stuff. How do you find your blank supplier for bitbird merch? Yeah, we work with some partners on the merch, so I'm not sure. I'm not sure on that. So when Minecraft stream again, can do that. You mean a party Minecraft stream or just me building a village? You will have to subscribe to my personal Twitch. I'll build a house in Minecraft. It's ridiculous. But could be fun. Maybe we should do that. I'm scrolling back a little bit to see if there are any more good questions, and then I think I'm gonna call it a day. But I was very, yeah, I wanted to say I was quite nervous doing this because I never do it by myself. So it was a bit scary, to be honest. I thought I'm just gonna be able to speak for 15 minutes and then I'm just gonna shut the laptop. But this was quite comfortable, so maybe we can do them more often. And yeah, you're not scary at all. I'm very down to do this another time and just answer some more questions and hang out. Yeah, maybe we can even do a game together or something, meet in a Minecraft server or Among Us or whatever, and I'll just stream it here while I answer some questions. That would be fun. Thank you all so much, and I hope you all have a great night. And the time is 9:30. I'm 30 minutes over curfew, so I'm gonna run home. No, I'll make it home. I'll be fine. Thank you all, and hope to see you all soon. Doei!